Community Action News with Rick Godley, CAN. Remember, when you can't, maybe together we can. Community Action News, CAN.
Rick Talk.
That's the Allman Brothers here on the new Rue 102. The song is entitled Revival, and we are a radio revival here at the Rue, keeping you informed of ATL All Things Local. Why? So that you get involved, and we have guests here in the studio this morning, plural. It is Battle Week, and that means it's the Battle of Pleasant Hill, the 45th annual reenactment of the Battle of Pleasant Hill. In the studio, Katelyn, Calhoun, All Things Pleasant Hill, Gary Stevens, the Colonel, not from Kentucky, but from Jonesboro. So good morning there, Gary. Good morning, Katelyn. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us in.
Oh, you're most welcome. Most welcome at always. All right, so where do we start? Battle of Pleasant Hill. Who wants to take us back to the history of this and bring us up to speed as to why we do this?
You want to take that, Gary, or you want me to take it?
I'll start. The reenactment.
Remember, that is a microphone. It is an ice cream cone. You don't. There you go.
The reenactment started 45 years ago. I probably went to about the third that was there. It was a pretty good size event, and it was a lot of action going on, and I really enjoyed it. It took me almost 3 years to find out how to join, and now I'm one of the main people out on the field.
So wait a second, Gary. If I'm doing my math right, if this is the 45th and you were 3 years old
no,
at
I
the
was
time,
not 3 years old.
Oh.
Is that what I said?
That's where I was going. I was trying to help you out, man.
No.
But still, okay.
But I've been doing this for 38 years.
Doing the reenacting, correct?
Reenacting,
and
correct.
And have you made all, as y'all say in the club, P Hill? Have you made all of them ever since you got involved?
I have missed one, and it was because it got rained out. One of the very few that totally got rained out. I did not show up for it.
Well, that's not going to happen this weekend. The weather is looking simply wonderful. Katelyn, give us, how did you get involved in this? Were you born into it? I mean, because you live on site right now.
I do live on site, but I've been involved since I was about 14 years old. Grew up in Pleasant Hill, grew up in that area, and I actually got involved because I was participating in our pageants. We have a Miss Battle of Pleasant Hill queen that reigns over our event, and I was Miss Battle of Pleasant Hill many years ago in 2006, and I've been involved ever since.
Well, let's stop right there. Well, congratulations for one, but that is an integral part of the festivities, funtivities, and the educational activities of the Battle of Pleasant Hill, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, when a winner of Miss Battle of Pleasant Hill, is that qualifier for the state of Louisiana, Miss Louisiana, and of Miss America going on? Is that?
No, we're in the Fair and Festival system.
Gotcha.
So we are members of the Louisiana Association of Fairs and Festivals. So our queen does compete for the LAF title, which is our equivalent to Miss Louisiana. So yes, she does represent us across the state.
Awesome. By the way, before we get too far involved in this, both of you are wearing the official T-shirts.
Yes.
Talk about them. How can folks get one?
We have a great artist that did our artwork this year. They're beautiful and they're available on our website. So thank you to Valerie Lurie for our beautiful artwork on our t-shirt this year. But they are available on our website at battleofpleasanthill.com, and we do ship statewide and international if we need to.
Sure.
And we also will have them available for sale at our event.
Now, the entry fee is $5 per person. Ages 5 and under are free. Now, is that $5 per day, or if I bring my family on Friday and somehow come back Saturday and Sunday, is that a re-up as well?
No, it is $5 per day.
Got it.
So if you come more than one day, just multiply that. But yes, sir, $5 and 12 and under are free.
All right. Well, Gary, since you got involved in this reenacting, how many battles guesstimate would you say that you've been involved with in your career?
In my career,
Yeah.
Probably 10 or so a year. So for 38 years, that's a pretty good amount, Rick.
And your wife's in the hallway. What's the secret to marital success on that? We won't go there right now.
Well, to always say yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. If I were to ask you there, Gary, and Katelyn, I'm going to ask you next, but does one battle reenactment stand out to you as a more memorable one than another? And not just Pleasant Hill, but any of them. Does one come to mind?
I will say one about Pleasant Hill.
Sure.
The first year that I was made the event coordinator, I had a grand charge at the Battle of Pleasant Hill where we were reenacting where General Mouton was killed. And during that charge, I trip and I fall down.
I don't mean to laugh.
And nobody knows what the next part of the scenario is. So it kind of, that is one that I really remember more than any of them. But Gettysburg at the 150th Pickett's Charge would also be one that is just stays in my mind.
Sure. Yeah, now y'all take this very seriously, and you try to stay as historical accurate as you know. So this isn't just like, folks getting dressed up to play,
Right.
soldiers. Explain that. What's the motivation behind this?
The motivation is to create history and to be able to show spectators and other people what it was like, to just give them a little piece of what the history was.
And well, Katelyn, you're living on the site there of Pleasant Hill. Take us through your memories of how many Pleasant Hills have you been involved with?
Let me see, I'm 37, so I would guess I've been around for about 37 years of the 45 that we've been in existence. Wow. But yeah, it's just one of those things that growing up in Pleasant Hill, it's one of our major traditions, and everybody has grown up going to our event. And to be so involved now, I've really come full circle to be involved with the event. So it's a great thing to be a part of, and we're happy to be able to still keep the history and heritage alive of our event there.
Well, talk again, your motivation. I mean, you were born right into it,
Yes.
and you just adopted it, and you are a catalyst for making this happen as well. Am I right? Not trying to polish your halo too much.
Well, I do what I can.
Sure.
We work very hard to make sure that the event is successful, and that we support our reenactors and make sure that everybody comes and has a good time. But yeah, it's an honor to be involved with it, and we just it's a year-round job that we do for free to make sure that the event runs smoothly.
And reenactors come from how far? I mean, have you gotten them all from all 50? Well, that wouldn't be possible, would it? 50 states?
Maybe not all 50, but they do come from around the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have some international visitors that are coming this year. I know we have at least 2 guys from England coming this year to reenact. So it's the Battle of Pleasant Hill has gone international. We're not just a statewide thing anymore.
Well, let's talk about the educational aspect of it. Not only is Friday set apart for education, if I remember correctly, but
true.
also this is going to be a narrative as the battle unscrolls the day of, on both days, correct?
Correct.
Explain.
So Friday during the day is our school day, and we have kids that come up from across the state. We've had them come as far as Colorado to our education day, to where the students are brought in and they're able to learn all kinds of different things about the Civil War. Not only just Pleasant Hill, but soldier's life, information about the different flags that were used, all kind of different things. We have different stations that they'll visit, but throughout the weekend for the adults, we also, of course, want to make it educational for all of our visitors that come. So throughout the weekend, we have different opportunities for people to get educated about the Battle of Pleasant Hill and everything Civil War. And one of the ways that we do that is we have a live radio show that takes place during each reenactment. And that is sponsored by the DeSoto Parish Tourist Commission. But it's really cool because we actually have, whenever you pay your $5, you're going to be handed a radio. It comes with an earpiece, and you get to hear all kinds of history, interviews throughout the reenactment, so that you're not just sitting there and watching the reenactment, you're actually getting some education that's happening as well. So it's kind of like a sports broadcast, but you're going to be hearing all kinds of information and history during that program.
It is a play-by-play.
It is. It is.
And the gentleman, where is he? From Shreveport or East Texas, if I remember?
East Texas.
Got it.
Charlie Chipwood takes care of that for us, and he's with Chipwood Smart Bug Radios.
All right, well, let's get serious and somber right now, because one of the, putting up on the screen now, the cemetery after the Battle of Pleasant Hill, many brave men were put to rest here. Some wore gray, some wore blue. That is the, Gary and Katelyn, we talk about the glory of war, but it's guts, and it's a real people died. And talk about how somber this is for all of y'all.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the real motivation behind why we do what we do, is to honor the men and the women that fought in our battle. And a lot of people don't realize that Pleasant Hill was, it was a thriving town at the time. So it not only affected the soldiers that were there, but the citizens that lived there as well. And we always kind of say Pleasant Hill really never recovered from the Battle of Pleasant Hill. So that is the somber side. Yes, we have a good time. We put on a good show. But at the root cause of why we do what we do is to honor the people that fought and died there.
Why don't you address that, Gary, as well, because I know you take this very seriously and you do realize the cost of the war.
Yes, we do. It's at the end of the battle, when you look across that battlefield and you see these reenactors that are laying dead or wounded on the field, and then taps being played, that's about as somber as you can get.
Very somber. And
Luminaries,
and
luminaries too.
Yes.
the luminaries. When will that be? That I missed that last year because I got there.
This is something that we've started probably about 5 years ago. So every Saturday evening that we light up the battlefield with luminaries, and that's our memorial to the soldiers that were lost there. Not only is it beautiful, but it's very somber and kind of sobering to see all of the different lights across the field in memoriam of all those people.
All right, so it's a 3-day event. Why don't we run down some of the activities, as you already mentioned there, Katelyn. Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. is school day. Correct. How many usually show up? And I bet you got their attention, right? I mean, because you're not teaching history, they're in history.
Right. And another thing that we need to mention is that one thing that makes our site so special is that this reenactment takes place on the actual battlefield. So whenever the kids come in, they're actually standing on the ground where the battle was fought in 1864. So they get a really good immersive experience whenever they come in for school day. And then on Friday night, we're trying something new this year. We are going to have our parade at 6 o'clock in downtown Pleasant Hill, and that is going to be followed by a concert in the courtyard that we have several sponsors that have come in locally to help us put this concert on. But Next of Kin will be playing from 7 to 10 o'clock in the courtyard in downtown Pleasant Hill as well on Friday.
You have relatives that play? Oh, no, it's the band Next of Kin.
The band name
I
is
got
Next
you.
of Kin, yes.
All right, so folks, if you want more information, battleofpleasanthill.com, battleofpleasanthill.com. And so let's talk about the battles. The big ones are going to happen on Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so Gary, you're the guy on the field. The ordinances that go off, the big booms,
Yes.
and those are real, but nobody gets hurt. Am I right?
That's correct.
Explain.
We do our best not to allow anyone to get hurt out on that field.
Right.
But yes, we do high pyrotechnics, and these guys do a fantastic job. I work with them at 2 or 3 other different battle sites, and they do a great job. But yes, there are a lot of loud noises out there.
A lot of loud noises. I know what I was going to say, dialing it back before we wrap it up, is that after the battle, some fall, but after it's all over, is taps played then resurrection, or is it resurrection then taps?
Taps will be played then resurrection.
All right, and so when I heard that, I'm like, man, this is kind of neat and unique. If only, but that's why war sucks. But I mean, you gotta respect the history. People die out of it, but not these folks. They get back up and walk.
Right.
All right, so Katelyn, you have some final words, and you want to put put out the plea to everybody to come and see because the weather's going to be perfect.
Yes, the weather's going to be beautiful, so please come out and join us and take a step back in time into history this weekend, April 11th through the 13th. And for all of the information that you need about our event, you can visit battleofpleasanthill.com or follow us on Facebook, and just come and spend the weekend with us and do something a little bit different. We're worth the drive.
Sure.
So please come out and support our reenactment this weekend in Pleasant Hill.
All right, Gary, is the battle plan already drawn up, or when do you do that?
Yes, the battle plans are drawn up. I've already got them lined out in my head, and my co-partner, Randall Robinson, who will be on the federal side, we know what's going to take place and when it's going to take place. Usually on Saturday, we usually do the Battle of Mansfield on site there, and so we are focusing on the second phase of the battle, which will be where the 28th Louisiana, who was a regiment that was actually there, turned the Federals' right flank and was able to push them back to Chapman's Bayou. And on Sunday's battle will be your basic Pleasant Hill battle. A lot of give and take and push and pull, and it ends up as a draw as the actual battle did.
So the actual history, I mean, it wasn't a total win or a total loss. It was...
That's correct. The way the history books writes it, the Federals ended up leaving their wounded and dead on the field, so that was more or less a Confederate victory.
And here it is again, the marker after the Battle of Pleasant Hill. Many brave men were put to rest here. Some wore gray, some wore blue. Katelyn and Gary, man, you're awesome, and thank you so much for coming in. Are we leaving out any I to be dotted or T to be crossed to make this one the most successful ever?
The way we can make it the most successful is for you to show up and be there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for all that you do, and we'll see you. See you there.
Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. Katelyn, Calhoun.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.